Hello and welcome to Backstage Buzz at the Mac, where you get the inside story and the art scene right from the directors and creators themselves. I'm Diana Martinez, and I'm so happy to welcome another incredible group of guests to the show. Later, I'll introduce you to Matt Shevitz, who took over direction of the College Jazz Ensembles last semester. He'll give us updates on his plans for the program, as well as a preview of what to expect at his next concert. Then, I'm so excited to talk with Rachel Prescott, Grounds and Garden Production Manager at Ball Horticulture. She's lending her expertise and leading the design on what is sure to be a stunning part of the Frida Kahlo 2020 exhibition, The Poetry Garden. But first, here to talk about college theater shows coming during the spring semester are the directors Amelia Barrett and Connie Canaday Howard. Welcome. Thanks for coming. So let's talk about the two shows happening this spring. Your show is?
Scenes from an Execution by Howard Barker.
Sounds like a real pick-me-up. Scenes of an Execution.
From an Execution, but we actually picked it as tribute to the Frida Festival that's coming up because we wanted to find a play about an artist who's facing politics and standing up for herself. So it's based on the Battle of Lepanto, which was in 1571, and it was the Catholic Church's fight against the Ottoman Empire, and they sunk over 200 ships and devastated the Ottoman Empire. So the city of Venice hires a painter to commemorate this event. Okay. And rather than making it a wonderful victory painting, she portrays it like an execution. And so she's jailed for it, and she believes that she is doing the right thing. Ultimately...
So she sees the war as a bloodbath.
Exactly, rather than a victory.
And you have to go to see what happens to her in the end.
Yes, you do.
How do you like this show?
I actually find it interesting, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our students to see history and how it is reflected again today, that nothing really ever ends, that they're finding out about Renaissance time, but how it's reflected.
How it's current today sometimes,
very current.
Right?
And the language is very contemporary. So
really?
So it doesn't seem like it's so far away.
Okay.
They criticize her for being a sensualist, and she's drawing all through the whole play. So
is the person playing the role an artist?
No, she's not.
She's gonna be.
But she's gonna be. Always drawing with red chalk all the time.
Okay.
And it takes place, we're doing it in the studio theater, this really, really small space, and it takes place in 20 different locations. So that's challenging and very cool, actually.
Yeah.
So we have a really innovative set who Michael Muniz designed it with giant frames of...
Oh, I love that idea.
And we're moving the frames around to change the locations and scaffolding to show that she's painting. Beautiful. But we never see the painting. The painting will be in our minds, not in front of us.
That's awesome.
So it'll be cool.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And Connie, on the flip side, you're doing something a lot more lighthearted.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, it's
Clue.
It's Clue on stage, and it's based on the board game, but even more, it's based on the '85 movie, which is sort of a cult classic. So presumably, we're at this manor, remote manor, body manor, and a murder happens in a very short transition at the top, and it's 6 guests who don't know each other. It's sort of a spoof on Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, and so they're trying to figure out who it is, and bodies start piling up. So it's a spoof, and it's sort of screwball comedy.
And kind of a mystery, right?
Yes.
Are you trying to figure it out?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, yeah. I mean, most people know the story of Clue, so it's not going to be a surprise how it ends, what's going to be the surprise. But for people who don't know the story, then yeah, it is a whodunit. So it moves really fast. Very much an ensemble cast, lots of twists and turns, and we're doing it. We're doing it in the Playhouse, which is an interesting space for that script because walls can't be solid because you have to see through them. So the framing, we have to have those doors, but it'll be a frame and then a wall in your mind as opposed to an actual wall. Because you'll see sort of the game board as you come into the theater. We haven't finalized the set design because there are so many challenges to solve, but I'm pretty sure it's a massive set. It's probably the biggest set I've seen in there in years.
So when you say a frame, so like the frame, but is it a scrim that you see through?
The wall itself does not exist.
Oh, there is nothing.
It's a freestanding door.
Okay.
And the understanding that there's a wall there
Got it.
from the characters, so that you actually can see
through the walls.
the billiards into the kitchen or whatever, you know. And I'm pretty sure the front door is going to be up center in a raised platform, and then you come down and there's open space at the beginning, and the rooms are around the outside. So we're using the entire space. And the aisles, the audience aisles, are part of the house. It's a massive house. So it'll be fun.
This is very different.
Yes, it is.
Who's designing this?
Sabrina is designing it. Mhm.
Wow.
So her first design here, not her first design.
So Sabrina Zeidler is a former student.
Correct.
Who has, you know, really worked herself up through the ranks. She was on the crew in the MAC, and she did all these things, and now she's our tech director for BTE.
Correct.
And now she's a tech director that works with student shows too.
Correct.
And she's a great teacher.
Yes.
And that's exciting to see
Yes.
somebody go up through the ranks like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
And now she's designing.
So, and then Michael's props and sound, and John's lighting, and Kim's costumes, hair, and makeup. So it's a great team. It's a great team of students. We had just over 50 people audition for.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the show calls for 10 roles. I've actually cast 14, but
Are there
it was very
bodies?
competitive.
Are they bodies?
Well, some of them become bodies, you know, but and some people play more than one thing, but it just moves so fast.
You have a great season this year.
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
fun.
great.
For
the student
And I
shows?
love the diversity of the season, because you have this historical piece that's dramatic and social justice, and then you have this fun spoof.
Yep.
So it's a nice balance,
Yep.
and it's a great opportunity for people to see theater at such an affordable price. And these student shows have professional sets, professional costumes, professional props, professional lights, professional sound. They have a lot of support to make these productions
Yep.
as great as they can be, and they have professional directors, because both of you are working equity actresses.
Yes.
Correct.
And both of you are in a show this year with BTE.
Yes.
So can we share about that? You are in,
Naperville by Matt Smart.
and your role is?
Candace is her name. And we haven't started rehearsal for that, but we're going in rehearsal in April. And it takes place in a Caribou coffee house in Naperville. So you get a lot of...
Have you been there doing your research and study?
you know what? The Pete's that's there now, I think, is actually...
Was a Caribou?
And I think that's the one that
Where it
he
was.
wrote. And it's really about community and about a group of people, Candace's son, and a girl that he had a crush on in high school, and a guy that is the manager at Caribou on his first day, and a friend of Candy's from going to the Caribou and hanging out with people by the fireplace. And it's really about second chances in life, and that it's never over. And if you have support and love around you, you can make it through. It's a nice story.
Anything.
I have
Anything.
1 minute. Tell me, I want everybody to know you're in,
I'm in the cake.
and you're starring in that role.
Correct. I
That's
play
exciting.
Della. Yeah.
Della. And you are the lady who's struggling with, do you make a cake?
Correct.
Do you make a cake for a wedding that you're...
Right. Yes.
Tell me what else you want to say about her.
It's such a slice of life, and it's such a celebration of loving and respecting people who don't agree with you. That it is okay to have a conversation over cake, and I think we've forgotten that, or at least many of us have forgotten that in today's society, and it becomes so polarized. And it doesn't mean that you have to agree on everything.
But you have to be respectful.
Well, it certainly makes for a better life.
Doesn't
and a
it?
more full and loving life. And that's what these characters learn who really love each other. But they don't agree. So it's at times, it's written by the writer and producer of This Is Us, and which is sort of a runaway hit on television. And it's very much of that ilk. Where it's very funny in moments, I mean hysterical in moments, and then very moving in moments. But it's really about love.
And we all need more of that.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing about this amazing season coming ahead. There is a lot to see.
Yes.
Scenes from an Execution runs February 27th through March 15th, and Clue runs March 26th through April 5th. So get your tickets now by visiting atthemac.org or by calling the box office at 630-942-4000. Don't miss out on these great shows coming soon to the MAC. The beautiful Ballet Folklorico Nacional de Mexico will take the stage February 16th. The Capitol Steps are back again to make us laugh on February 29th. The spectacular Cirque Éloigé will perform their show Hotel on March 7th. Come see a telecast of National Theater Live, Small Island on the big screen March 3rd or 8th. Don't miss Drum Tao 2020 on March 15th. For tickets or more information, please visit atthemac.org or call 630-942-4000. Matt Shevitz is our new Director of Jazz Ensembles at College of DuPage. He's here to share his plans for the program and give us a preview of what to expect at the upcoming DuPage Community Jazz Ensemble concert. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
So, Matt, you come to us from Harold Washington College in Chicago, and you were there for?
I was there for 15 years.
So what's the difference? What do you feel are some of the bigger differences? Are you happy that you're here?
I love it at College of DuPage.
Good.
This has really been quite an enjoyable experience. I'm having a blast here. What I've really enjoyed is the strong sense of community that the music program has. I interact with the students quite frequently outside of rehearsals, and we're constantly having conversations either that are about how to perform jazz better or just artists that we're all listening to. It's a lot of fun. And then on an institutional level, have really enjoyed just all of the opportunities that College of DuPage provides for students and faculty.
And you're really engaged as a musician in your own right. So tell everybody about what you do on the musician side.
Sure. So on the musician side, I am a professional saxophonist, and I play around Chicago, around the Midwest, pretty much anywhere anybody.
Anyone who will have you.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm playing in Traverse City at the end of February.
Are you with a band, or do you job out, or how does that work?
All of that. All of it. So I play with my own group, the Matt Shevitz Quartet. We'll play at places like the Jazz Showcase or Andy's Jazz Club. But then I'm also a side musician, and we'll play with blues groups or jazz, funk, soul, whatever it might be. It's been a wonderful experience. I've been in Chicago for about 18 years now, and during that time I've gotten the chance to perform at the Chicago Jazz Festival, Chicago Blues Festival, Lollapalooza, as well as a lot of the clubs around the city.
That's awesome. So tell me about what your plans are for this upcoming show.
Sure.
Because it's exciting. You really want to bring in some guest artists and raise the bar.
Right. So the DuPage Community Jazz Ensemble has a concert coming up on Sunday, March 22nd. And we're bringing in trombonist Wycliffe Gordon, which we're very, very excited about. Wycliffe is a veteran member of the Wynton Marsalis Septet. He's an original member of the Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra. He's played with, aside from Wynton, he's played with David Sanborn, Paul Simon, Natalie Merchant, Dizzy Gillespie. He's got numerous awards, just an incredible musician and educator. And so we're thrilled to have him as a featured soloist with the ensemble.
So he's not just going to come and play a solo. He's going to come and do a master class, do a rehearsal with your students, and then we're working it out that he plays in the show, and then a meet and greet after. So people will get to meet him, the students will get to know him, which is really, I think, one thing that we do here at COD with our touring artists is try to mix the two so the students get some contact with these artists, and I love that.
It's so important. It was important in my own musical upbringing. I remember both within a university or college setting, working with guest artists, or even hanging out with them after the concert and hearing their stories and getting to ask them maybe a few more questions than you were able to ask in a master class. It really influences your one's development as a musician. With Wycliffe, yes, we're doing the master class before the concert. That will be very, I think, informative for both the COD students and then any high school students or just community members that come. So
that want to attend.
Yeah.
So what I think is you can sit there every class and tell them about the business. But when somebody in the business that they admire says the same words, all of a sudden it's like, you know what he said? And you've like, I've said that 100 times.
Right.
But I think it resonates with them. And I think, you know, their idols or their mentors or their, it just has a different power.
It
coming
does.
From somebody who's, you know, working at that level.
It does. It absolutely does. I'll say something in rehearsal several times, and after a while, it just starts to.
You're like their mother.
Old.
They're like,
right. I was going to say it's
right?
exactly like parenting.
Right.
It's the
like,
same
whatever.
kind of thing. Yeah, but then you get someone like Wycliffe that comes in and says, you know, you should really think about this way, and the students respond
An
with these
epiphany,
wide-eyed,
right?
This is amazing. Like they've never heard it before.
But I think it's good. I think
it is.
It shows a sense of strength in you as an instructor to not be intimidated by that and say, you need to hear it from the horse's mouth. You need this exposure, and you need to see that we're reinforcing the same principles.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's the same.
You're not crazy.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. I'm not the only one saying this thing. That there are other people who are not only saying it, but perhaps showing it, really exemplifying what it is that they're teaching.
And so your show is coming up on?
So it's on March 22nd, Sunday, March 22nd at 3 o'clock, the masterclass occurring.
And that people can come early and stay late and
absolutely
be a part of this whole opportunity.
The masterclass will be at 1 o'clock in the same building. It'll be wonderful. Very excited.
Well, we're so happy that you're here and that you brought a new energy into the department, and you're collaborating great with the MAC, and we look forward to a long stay with you, Matt. So
thank you.
And the other thing I like that you do is that you'll send out tips on these big concerts, the big jazz fests, saying, hey, all right, here are the artists you should see. And I've copied those and put them on the MAC Facebook page so that our audience who loves jazz can follow, you know, get some tips. So so follow Matt's suggestions through our Facebook page. And do you have a Facebook page that you?
I do. I have my own. I have my own Facebook
Just
page.
Matt, not a
and I have a website too, mattshevitz.com.
So if they want to learn more about you, then go to mattshevitz.com, or if they want to hire you to play.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, all are welcome.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
DuPage Community Jazz Ensemble takes the stage on March 22nd. For tickets or more information, visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. Come support college programming this semester. Our talented COD music instructors take the stage on March 5th for the faculty recital. DuPage Community Concert Band will perform on March 9th. On March 11th, be sure to come see the Student Ensemble Concert. And don't forget to stop by the MAC on Wednesdays through March 11th for our free Global Flicks series. For a full schedule of this year's international films, visit atthemac.org. We are so fortunate that Ball Horticulture is a sponsor of Frida Kahlo 2020. I am personally so grateful because they have generously agreed to design the Poetry Garden and are busily preparing for the installation, which will be a touchstone element of the exhibition. Here to tell us more about it is Rachel Prescott, Grounds and Garden Production Manager at Ball. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I can't tell you how grateful I am that Ball is doing this, because I had a friend who worked for Ball and had the privilege of going on your grounds. 100 years ago, and
Yeah.
I was so impressed. And I thought, and I will never forget thinking, this is the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of gardens. It's
is.
creative and it's new, and you guys, it's scientific too, right? You're
Right.
creating new species and new plants.
Yeah, so Ball is one of the largest horticultural companies in the world. We do breeding, research, and distribution. So that garden that everyone comes to visit is a tool for us to show our customers all of the new and upcoming flowers that can be purchased and sold in garden centers and for landscapers to use at houses. So we have a huge science staff on site that works with breeding and a lot of very intricate molecular development of flowers, trying to get different colors, higher disease resistance. It's insane what goes on behind making a garden like that.
But it's not like you're just walking through greenhouses. There's that piece, but the actual design of the garden. Now you do that?
My coworker does the bed designs. I do a
Okay.
lot of the container designs, but that I think is what also sets that garden apart. And where a lot of landscapers and even city officials and parks come and get some inspiration from, and that's definitely what it's used for.
So not only are you designing the Frida garden, which let me tell our audience really quickly. Frida's garden was a big part of her life.
Yes.
Her studio overlooked her garden. She loved her garden. She loved flowers. They were always in her hair. And so when we started talking, and you invited me over to see your research, I was so thrilled with how deep you've gone to this. You actually looked at photos or
Yeah.
paintings of hers.
Absolutely. Her artwork was full of flowers, and not only things that were in her backyard that she looked at, but things that she saw in her travels.
And landscape.
Things she just wanted to see that were beautiful.
And then you identified all of the greens in each of the paintings.
Yep.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we took those plants and chose our plants that we breed and develop that work for that type of flower.
Okay.
So everything that you'll see being used in her garden is breeding from our genetics and our companies.
Amazing. There's one painting that I think it was your landscape horticulture, landscape architect said, do you realize who this painting is of?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
the Luther Burbank picture.
And why do you love that? So Frida painted a painting of Luther Burbank. Why? Tell everybody why you all love that painting so much. And we're having it in the show.
Yeah, so we are so excited because one of our new introductions this year is a philodendron, which is the plant that Luther Burbank is holding in that picture that she did. It's a new philodendron from Ball Ingenuity called Shangri-La. So this is a great way to show off a new product that the consumers who are visiting the garden will eventually be able to purchase and kind of get our name out there.
And Luther Burbank is one of the, I think the landscape architect said, you realize he's like the father of
Right.
modern horticulture. And I was
Yes.
like, I didn't. So it all ties in really well.
It does. It's. I think, when this project first started, I never realized how intertwined it was until you really start researching it.
And I think because you are so scientific based and education based, there'll be some labeling, right? So people can
Absolutely.
also learn about all of these plants.
That's one of the main goals in our regular garden too, is to have everything labeled so that you can go online and look it up. Another thing that we encourage consumers to do in our garden is to take a picture of that name tag and bring it to your garden center. Ask for that flower.
Perfect.
That's how a lot of our products get put into like a little IGC, an independent garden center, is their customers specifically asking for a certain type of flower.
So share with our audience some of your thoughts of how the garden will look or where your plants will be so they get an idea.
Right, so the entrance to the MAC is super shady. So when you look at the pictures of Frida's garden in Mexico City, it's very green, very lush, very tropical and canopy covered. So that's kind of what the front of the MAC will look like.
In pots.
Yes, all in pots.
And I love when Anna Ball, who's the owner of Ball, came to see it. She's like, well, this needs green.
Yes.
This needs to be exciting. We're going to add plants here. And,
Right.
and she's just got such a great spirit about her and vision.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
And so that was exciting where she came into right like, all right, we got to start off with some greens.
Right.
So right from your first impact entrance, you'll see some of your work
Mm-hmm.
from Ball. Then you'll go through the historical and then you'll go through the gallery and see the paintings. Then when you go outside toward our courtyard in the back, it'll be beautiful where the Lakeside Pavilion is.
Yes.
And tell them about that.
So that is full blazing sun and is going to be perfect for all of those native Mexican plants. So things like lantana and sunflowers, and we're going to try and bring in a lot of cacti and succulents and things that were not only found in her garden but would also be found in a typical Mexican landscape. And that's what that pavilion is perfect for.
It's going to be gorgeous. And I've just asked her before we went on camera, can you help me with some plants for my children's area? And she's so good. She goes, well, let's put tactile ones where the children can touch and feel the difference. And I love the educational aspect you always bring to this, and that people will learn about the plants as well.
Maybe we'll get some people interested in horticulture that were never interested.
I'm sure you will. And you're even helping the village of Glen Ellen, aren't you?
Yes, I worked with them to kind of figure out a similar design scheme that we could use to repeat throughout Glen Ellen in their parks department. I'm going to help them out by growing some of those tropicals that are hard to find, and everything will be really cohesive and work really well together.
Which is so nice. So after you go to our garden, if you want to go downtown Glen Ellen and shop and look for all the plants, they're all coming from Rachel.
This needs to be the city of Frida for this summer.
It will be the city of Frida, and you're a big part of that, and we're so grateful to you.
Very excited.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This one-of-a-kind garden will only be available to appreciate during Frida 2020, opening June 1st. Get your tickets for the exhibition today by visiting frida2020.org or by calling the box office at 630-942-4000. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz. That was great.